And look at here at Barnes & Noble, doing a little bit of a 50% off sale. See what they got. Not looking for anything in particular. Haven't been thinking about it too much, but we'll kind of get a little run through here. See what we got here. This is the Criterion section here at my local Barnes & Noble. Gotta look through here and see if I see anything of any interest. A lot of things I don't have, but don't know much about this. Looks interesting. Any of this stuff's gonna be good. High Sierra, that's a good one. I don't think I have this one. I'll have to check that one out. Here at Lloyd, the kid brother, I believe that's it. Yeah. That's probably a good one as well. That one's actually 30. That's 15 bucks. That's DVD though. It's probably worth it though, but don't think I'll pick it up. Let's see here. I do like seeing that they have started carrying some Arrow video here as well. It's pretty nice. Looks like we're getting out of the Criterion. Their Criterion section's not insanely big. It's interesting to see what these are here. Up All Night with Robert Downey Sr. I think those are DVDs, but they're kind of collections. It's kind of cool. I don't know if they're Criterion or not though. Look through here, see if we can find anything else. Yeah. Pretty interesting. I just picked that up. That's a DVD version of it. And then they got the Blu-ray, it looks like, as well. Life Aquatic, make sure you're in Canada. Midnight Cowboy, excellent one. Europa. Dazed and Confused here. I think I was wanting to pick up the Incredible Shrinking Man as well. I know Mike picked that up the other day, and I've been needing to pick it up as well. I just haven't done it yet. Hopefully they'll have it here. Try to find the eyes, ABG. Kinds of Irishmen's there. There it is. Incredible Shrinking Man just came out. Good little movie there. I think I need to pick that up. I think that's all I'm gonna pick up today. But here's the good backup shot here of the Criterion. Lexington, Kentucky Criterion section here. Not real big. I've seen some bigger ones, so we'll look around. If I see anything else, I'll flip back on the camera and let you guys know. What's going on, YouTube? I've got a Criterion 50% off sale video for you guys. I picked up a few things, but not too much this time. Actually, one of them actually came from Amazon, which, if you guys don't know, most of the time whenever Barnes & Noble's running their 50% off sale, you also can find the same deals on Amazon. Really, the Criterion, the sale is kind of a joke at Barnes & Noble because they've always got double the price on everything. So usually, I don't know, because sometimes here recently, Amazon's been selling stuff at usually, I think, the kind of a normal price for a new Criterion is usually somewhere in the range of $28, like $27.99 or something like that. So you are getting a little bit off, but as far as whenever the sale goes on, Amazon prices usually go down to about 20, so they match the price even on some of the larger sets that you get half off. And I'll show you the example here. Let me see if I have ones out of the wrapper, but this is the first one I picked up. This would be The Incredible Shrinking Man, if you guys are familiar with this movie. But what I'm talking about is excuse me, this is, if I can get it to focus, there we go. But see, you got the $39.99 Barnes & Noble price, so half off is going to be $20. But everybody knows that. But they shouldn't be selling them for these prices all year round. That's a joke. I don't know why they do it, because they have a bigger stock than anybody. And they don't necessarily do that with their books at Barnes & Noble, so I don't really understand why they keep running up these prices like they are. Let me see here. The Incredible Shrinking Man, it was directed by Jack Arnold, written by Richard Matheson. I haven't watched this movie in a long time. I apologize for not watching it for a while, but it's a pretty good little kind of sci-fi-esque movie. But yeah, the Incredible Shrinking Man would be the very first one I'm going to show you here. And next up, couldn't decide where I was going to put them. I'm just going to throw them on the ground. I don't have a lot of the table space here, so I've got stuff piled up over here I'm going to show you. But I'm going to be showing you guys more than just what I got at the Criterion sale, and there might be a little surprise video here at the end of this of something else. So check that out at the end of the video, and we'll see what that is. But the next one up is if you guys watch me, you know I'm a fan of Humphrey Bogart. This would be High Sierra. I picked this up. I had to look and see when this got released. This is Raoul Walsh. Let's see if that's who directed it. Yeah, it's directed by Raoul Walsh. Excuse me. Very, very good movie. I have to say so myself. I have watched this. I'd seen it before, and I'm trying to think if I have it on Laserdisc, but I never owned it on DVD. So it's a very interesting pickup. It's a good movie. It looks pretty good. Transferred. You got your typical 4:3 aspect ratio from this era. Let's see. Yeah, the typical one. Actually, I was looking here. No, it's not typical. I apologize. It's 137:1, which is hard to discern from 133:1. But it's this is a really good movie. Bogart is a ex-con. He has been essentially pardoned by somebody. Basically, you don't really know in the movie kind of who pardons him, but he's been pardoned by, he's been pardoned out of prison basically by influential people, people with money, basically somebody who's going to bring him back into the folds of crime. So it's basically him like going right back into plotting his next crime, his next act, and him kind of interacting from different people and kind of falling in love with this girl. And it's kind of a love story wrapped into a kind of a crime drama. It's really a fun little movie. Um, get to see a lot of beautiful scenery here where it was shot. I guess it was. I don't know if it was actually shot in the Sierra Nevada range and or the kind of the eastern California, the Sierras, kind of that area of the country. It's really beautiful. It's black and white, but it's still very beautiful. If you know me, I love black and white, so it's a very beautiful. I hope I'm not getting. I got a cheap desk here, so sometimes if I get moving around, I get a little earthquake effect here on my camera. So that's High Sierra, Humphrey Bogart. Uh, I'm sorry I'm having trouble reading this today. Ida Lupino, excellent, excellent movie. Uh, the last Criterion is actually this is the one I picked up on Amazon, and this was actually a movie that was recommended by Mike from Mike's Blu-rays and DVDs, Mike Dagg, who's also co-host with me on Cinerama 60. You guys need to check that out. We will be having I guess I don't know when this video is going to come out, but it will be Thursday night, November 18th, I believe, November 18th or 19th. No, November 18th, excuse me. And it'll be at 8 o'clock if you guys watch that. But it's, so Cinerama 60 is going to be a little bit different from Cult of Collectors. Cult of Collectors is more about collecting. We do talk a little bit about movies on there, but this Cinerama 60 is mainly talking about movies and just talking about the movies and directors and actors and, all the, production elements of movies, things like that. All the good stuff. I'm a movie person, not necessarily the collector, but obviously we're all collectors who collect movies. But the next one that Mike suggested to me is Leave Her to Heaven. I have not seen this movie. This is a noir. I think it's a colored noir. It's in color, and it is in this, like Mike says in his thing, is colors mono natural. But I think it's what is that process? Excuse me. It's like Technicolor or something like that. What the film it was shot on, I believe. But it's supposed to be excellent, excellent noir, colored noir, and supposed to be like this is why, like, when the Time's Up movement and like that kind of stuff, when they're saying, well, women were never really, women's never been represented in movies and things like that. If you just never have, these people have just never went back and watched watched historically movies from past Hollywood, because there's been all kinds of, and a lot of that's about, equal pay and all that crap, but there's certainly been plenty of great roles for women throughout the years, and a lot, especially in these early movies like that. I mean, there's some just amazing roles, a lot better than it's been made now, a lot better roles than it's being made now. Actually, dynamic roles and very just very interesting stuff. But that is the last of my Criterion haul. So now I'm going to get into several. I got quite a few things. I'm not going to go into too much depth about any of this stuff because I've got quite a few extra movies here. If that's all you guys wanted to see was what I got on my Criterion haul here, then that's it. But you should stick around because I got some pretty interesting movies I picked up. I apologize for being gone for so long, but I've just been, I don't know, I've just kind of taken it, kind of trying to take it more as a hobby. It's all this ever was a hobby. And if you start, to me personally, if you do it too much, it's just too much like a job. At least if you try to put a little production value into it, which, I can personally edit really fast. I can edit fast and put this stuff together in no time. I'm just lazy. I just get lazy, to be perfectly honest with you. But, yeah, well, let's get into it here, and I'll let you guys check out what I picked up. And I've been really happy to get this next set this everything I've been happy about picking up here recently, but I've kind of got back into collecting movies a little bit more than toys here lately, so that's why I haven't seen very many toys on the channel, and it's kind of slowed down because like I'm mainly like a Transformers collector. I've kind of become more of just a Transformers collector a little bit, and I've kind of got everything that I want that's out right now for the most part, at least what I can find. So I'm seeing a lot, and Christmas is bulked up on a lot of things. And I picked up a lot of things in the past month, but really the last couple of weeks it's slowed down because I've kind of found everything I wanted. But the first movie set I got up here is this beautiful Ray Harryhausen Ultimate Collection. And I don't know what's going on tonight, but my lighting is spot on. It looks good. I don't know what it is. But this is the Ray Harryhausen collection. This is I did never dig into where this was released, who released this, but this comes from. Here's the back side of this. Kind of get a look at those movies there. It's really a nice collection here, but it's definitely a European release. But this is definitely a European release. Um, it um, it contains Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, the Seven Voyages of Sinbad, the Three Worlds of Gulliver, the Golden Voyage of Sinbad, Jason and the Argonauts, Earth versus the Flying Saucers, and It Came from Beneath the Sea. All the excellent movies. Harryhausen was a pioneer of special effects, um, stop motion special effects. I forget what he actually coins the actual name of his special effects, what he called it. It's in one of these documentaries I've seen, but I can't remember what they actually call it. But it's basically stop motion, animatic stuff. But it's the way he did it was just so like almost he brought life to these special effects like back in the 50s and 60s where it's nobody else was doing at the time. It's just amazing stuff here. But there are some like really beautiful indicator sets that I do not own any of them of the Ray Harryhausen because they're not as complete as this. And I would say these transfers are probably pretty good. The indicator they do a real good job on stuff, so I don't know if they retransferred some of these movies. But the problem with the indicator sets, it's not a complete set. Like you got to buy like one set only has like 3 movies on. I think it has maybe one set maybe only has like Jason, the Sinbad movies, and one may have a couple, and another one may have like Earth versus Flying Saucers. But there's no complete set in the indicator line, which that's kind of a I'd rather have this. I'd rather have the complete collection and maybe not as good, quite as good a transfers. I mean, but these transfers looked excellent, so I'm happy with them. And some people you can scream at me if you don't like them. That's understandable. It's just how some people are. But I'm happy with this set. Very happy with it. I've watched all of them. I actually sat down and watched them all, which I'd seen them all many times. But I'm kind of disappointed. I don't own any of his stuff on Laserdisc that I can remember. The next setup was a very exciting set. This set here, I've been waiting for it to come out forever, and it actually was supposed to came out like maybe originally back in the end of July, or it's either July or the end of August, but it never came out. It kept getting pushed back for some reason. But this is the Randolph Scott 12 film collection, and Randolph Scott was he's played many roles, but he played in a lot of westerns. And I've probably talked about it before. I should have got it down beforehand, but I'm not going to jump up there. But the thing is about having these 12, it was kind of, I mean, you can't pass up a 12 movie collection. And I apologize. I should have showed you the other ones, but I was going to show you how the inside of this is really beautiful. These discs, and you get 2 movies per disc. And I've only sat down and watched one movie out of this that I haven't seen, but the transfer looked good, even with the compression for 2 Blu-ray movies being on one disc. So I've been pretty happy. But Now, all the movies but what I was getting at is I have the indicator Bud Bedecker and Randolph Scott set. Bud Bedecker was a director that worked with, and all the 5 movies that's in the indicator set up there is on this. So it was kind of like when I first seen it set, I was like, oh man, all those movies are on there. Do I really want to buy it? But I mean, the thing is there's 7 additional movies. So even 7 movies, I think this was like $40. So 7 Blu-ray movies for for that, 7 additionals, and then having all those together in one set, it's hard to beat. Here's the movies. I don't know if I showed you the back again, but this set contains the Desperados, the Nevadan, Santa Fe, Man in the Saddle, Hangman's Knot, The Stranger Wore a Gun, Lawless Street, and the next 5 are the Bud Bedecker movies: The Tall T, Decision at Sundown, Buchanan Rides Alone, Ride Lonesome, and Comanche Station, which all 5 of those are just amazing movies. They're like top notch. They're B movies. Most of these are considered B movies. I don't know about some of his earlier ones here if they were considered B, but most of them were. He pretty much anything Bud Bedecker was doing was basically considered a B movie. But he was a B movie director making A movies essentially. He had B movie budgets, but made A quality movies. So this is just an excellent set. I highly recommend this set. The one set that I haven't bought that come out here recently that I like to have is the they made a Poverty Row set that come out, but it's like $60. I think it's just like 4 movies too, and I love to have that Poverty Row set because it's some of those old movies and like noirs and stuff. That's where a lot of the noirs came from, is from Poverty Row. And Poverty Row was just, they were kind of they were like the C movie theater, the C movie studios in Hollywood. They were the Poverty Row. They were the bottom of the barrel. They're the original kind of independent movie studios in Hollywood. So they made basically no budget movies and stuff like that. And that's where you had a lot of noir movies came out of. But moving on, here is another set I picked up. It was really, and I've owned multiple versions of this on DVD. This would be the Don Knotts 5-film collection on Blu-ray. And this would contain The Ghost of Mr. Chicken, The Reluctant Astronaut, The Shakiest Gun in the West, The Love God, and How to Frame an Egg. I love Don Knotts. He's hilarious, and these are some great movies he's in. And when I seen this come out on Blu-ray, it's like I'm getting it again. I think I recently bought it again. Like, actually, the very first. What's interesting is the very first set that I have on the very first the very first DVD set that came out from for the Don Knotts was just a 4-film set. I think it omitted How to Frame an Egg. It had the other 4, but How to Frame an Egg wasn't on that one. And then they re-released another DVD set, which I bought it again, which had the 5th movie on there, and had How to Frame an Egg. And when I seen it come out on Blu-ray, I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy it again because I've got to have these in Blu-ray. Just because a lot of times with transfers, I'll be more inclined to rebuy something, especially if it's in a certain era, and if it's made in like the 60s or 50s and 60s in color, stuff like that, then sometimes the transfers are wonderful. And I've only watched one of these movies so far, and the transfer was all right. I watched The Love God, and the transfer was pretty good. But I haven't watched all of them yet, so we'll be finding out. But it looked pretty good, I have to say. The next movie I have not seen. I've seen the remake that came out in the 90s, but I picked up Mighty Joe Young. It was just Amazon buy that it came up on, on the Amazon. It comes up on your like suggestions for things to buy. It came up, and I was like, and what's interesting about this is it's not mentioned on here, but I think Harryhausen had something to do with some of the special effects on this. I'm not positive. He's not listed as far as I know in the credits here, but I know he gets mentioned in one of these documentaries about having something to do with this movie. So I don't know if he, did something with, he had something to do with the special effects of these or not. But I didn't show you the Don Knotts. I didn't show you the discs. I'm being really inconsistent about showing you inside of these, the ones that are open. But these are also, these are 2 films per disc. So, but really nice looking cover art for these discs and things like that. So, pretty nice looking set. Some things, I prefer, if I have to get it, I'll get it in whatever format. If I have to get it in DVD or Laserdisc, not VHS, I screw that. But I'm not, I don't care about VHS. I grew up with VHS, and I just don't care. And but if it comes out on Blu-ray, I try to upgrade it to at least Blu-ray, because I like to at least consider that my definitive copy of it. Now 4K and stuff like that, it's really I've been disappointed in some 4K transfers. So if something that comes out that I know that they've actually worked on thoroughly and put in 4K, or if it's a newer movie that just comes out on 4K like that, I'll buy it in 4K. But I'm not rushing out and just completely re-buying stuff in 4K totally. It has to be something very special now. That's why I haven't been talking a lot about 4Ks or getting a lot of 4Ks, just because it's sometimes not worth the money to upgrade them, because sometimes the transfers just aren't up to par. But the next movie here is a Kino Lorber. This is another recommendation from Mike at Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays. This is another noir. This is Boomerang. I have not seen this yet. This is a Dana Andrews. It's directed by Elia Kazan, however you pronounce the name, Elia Kazan. And I'm very interested in watching this. I like my noirs, and anything Kino Lorber's is going to be usually wonderful. So, yeah, we'll be checking that out. I'll be checking this out very soon. And we got one more recommendation from Mike. I every time I watch Mike's channel, that's why sometimes I don't watch all of his videos. I intend to watch all of his videos, but I don't want to watch them because I know I'm going to be buying movies, and if I can't afford them, I don't want to be buying them all the time, because he's seen a lot more than I have, and I try to pride myself on watching a lot, but he's watched a lot more. So, he's always pointing out stuff that I haven't seen, and he's always got excellent reviews. He's got excellent picks. So this is another noir. An excellent noir called Kansas City Confidential. This is looks like it's trying to see who released this, excuse me. It's I think it's like I don't know, it's kind of HD something here. It's too small for me to read, but it's not a familiar company, but excellent transfer, just excellent movie. So, I highly recommend this one. This was a very good noir, kind of what I would call a straightforward noir. If you picture a noir, a kind of a run of the mill kind of noir, but just a very good version of that. This is definitely it. This is Kansas City Confidential. It's a combo, Blu-ray and DVD. So excellent noir. Highly recommend it. Getting into I got some stuff mixed up here. I'm going to show, and everybody knows if you've watched me before, here's a couple more Kino Lorbers, but I'm a big fan of W.C. Fields, and I guess I'm just going to replace all my W.C. Fields on Blu-ray when they come out. I've actually got a couple more ordered at the moment, but this is the Bank Dick. W.C. Fields, the Bank Dick. Kino Lorber. Hilarious. W.C. Fields. Love my W.C. Fields. Hilarious. Hard to explain. Well, it's not hard to explain W.C. Fields. It's just kind of slapstick comedy. The thing about Fields is I've seen a documentary or two on Fields, and he I don't know if he had but he always like most of his movies, he's always being put down by women. Like the women in his life are always like basically shitting on him. Basically, like it's always like him and his kids. The women and the kids are always shitting on him in his movies. But it's always funny because it's like basically on every movie, and then he'll have. But he also. He also has. He probably had a thing for younger women too, because he always has like a daughter figure in there who's like always coming to his aid or coming to his side most of the time, but most of the time his family hates him, and a lot of times in his movies, at least both of those movies, they got kind of similar plots where he's like he basically he's basically kind of a loser so much and ends up being rich by the end of the movie for doing something courageous or falling blind deadly falling backwards into luck somehow. They're just funny movies, and it's just like a little slapstick humor and physical comedy in there. It's just early movies, and like a lot of W.C. Fields movies were actually originally shot in silence, and then he went back and redid them in talkies after sound came in to be. But the next Kino Lorber, also, this would be another W.C. Fields. This is WC. It says W.C. Fields and Baby Leroy. It's a gift. Baby Leroy is really not much in this movie. He's just in like one or two scenes. I don't know why it's so. Put up so big like that. But Baby Leroy must have been a big child baby actor at the time or something, and they made a big deal out of it. But this is another really good movie. Kind of same premise. Family hates him, falls blindly into luck by the end of the movie, ends up rich. That's kind of usually most of his movies are like that. They're simple. They're just comedies of the day, meant to make people laugh. They not make you think too much, and just hilarious. The next collection I have here is really cool. This is the Brady Bunch 2-movie collection. This will be the Brady Bunch and a very Brady sequel. Transfer looks really good on the Brady Bunch movie. I watched that this morning. Looked really good. I haven't watched the sequel yet, which I actually have both of these on Laserdisc. I have Brady Bunch on DVD, but I was happy to see this come to Blu-ray, and actually happy to see that it was a nice looking transfer. So happy to have these. You guys, most of you people have probably seen it out here, familiar with the Brady Bunch. I think they did I think for what they were doing, it was a pretty funny movie. It had some pretty funny gags and stuff in it, and it treated the IP pretty fairly. I liked how they kind of imported the Brady Bunch into the 90s basically, and had them interact, make a 70s family be interacting with the 90s environment of the time, but social environment at the time, I guess you would call it. But this movie is these movies are really excellent, or these movies are really good. This is a nice set. You should pick it up, especially if you like the 90s. Now this movie here, this movie here is not a 90s movie, but feels like it came out in the early 2000s, and I think it has 90s. It was probably developed in the late 90s. It was probably shot, I think it came out in 2001 is what it says on here. But this would be Josie and the Pussycats. You guys may have seen this on my Instagram channel. I've always had a place, kind of a soft spot for this movie. I liked it for some reason. I was always around the music business and stuff, and even though this is kind of more mainstream music, it was kind of trying to poke and prod the music industry a little bit. I really believe, especially with the whole brainwashing thing and trying to brainwash the masses of the kids. I thought it was a very interesting plot line, because I don't know if they were trying to make fun of it or trying to actually expose the music industry in a little bit of a way. I don't think they're necessarily I think they're a little more clever than this. And they're just putting subliminal tracks and stuff. But I digress about all that. But this movie is it looks good. It's a good transfer. I'm happy with that. I'm happy. These are usually the type of movies that get like just get the bull crap transfers. A lot of the time they just get like what I almost call like a first pass transfer, where they just almost, I don't even know if they even, I don't even know if it's an actual film transfer with more than it's just they put it in a processor. I don't even know if they do that with transfers, perfectly honest with you, but some of those early DVDs, or excuse me, early Blu-rays seemed like they were just like, they just stuck them in like a processor and a computer and transferred them that way. They weren't even like an actual film transfer. But this movie right here looks really good. It looks excellent, and sounds really good. The music's really banging in this movie. I highly recommend picking this. I highly recommend picking up this. You got all three of the girls. You got excuse me. Every time I go to think, I know like Rosario Dawson, obviously, and Tara Reid, and Rachel A. Cook. I remembered them all right when I stuck my magnifying glass up there. But this is Tara Reid still in her prime. She still looks like really good in this movie, and Rachel A. Cook looks really good, and Rosario Dawson looks really good, and they're. I don't know. It's just a good movie. There's some pretty good supporting casts and things like that. When I was thinking here, I'd pull it out and show it if I can find it quickly, and I don't think I'm going to be able to, but I do have Josie and the Pussycats on. I do have the DVD of it somewheres, but I've moved stuff around here lately, and I don't know where it is. It should be like right here, but it's right not here. Excuse me. Yeah, I have it somewheres here, but it's this is a fun movie. I highly recommend it. I know I'm going on a little bit too much. Before I do the last Blu-ray, I'm going to run through these real quick. I'm a big fan of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I'd only previously owned up to season 9, and I kind of quit collecting the DVDs at the time, so I wanted to fill in the rest of the gap since there's a new season coming on here at the 1st of December, season 15. And so I went ahead and picked up season 10. It's Always Sunny. Season 10 is actually actual discs. You get the actual disc, the DVD disc. I know you can't really see it, but it's an actual DVD. And then season 11. And season 11 I think season 11 may go to, season 11 is burn discs. It's a burn disc, unfortunately. And that's how these seem to be official burn discs, too. So I don't know if somebody can tell me out there if there was actual versions of these initially released after these come out that may have come out in stores before they just went to Amazon like this. And then here's season 12. But you can always tell they're burn discs by that. Well, this one here actually has a normal sleeve color. It has kind of the flat black color. But yeah, this one does too. I apologize about that. But here's season 13. And these are all burn discs. So it's nothing special, but see, they're kind of an official burn disc, so I don't know if these never were issued on regular DVD or not. I can find that stuff out, but these are burn disc. I'm just happy to have it because I really like It's Sunny. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Excuse me. And here was season 14. Just hilarious stuff. I'm not going to go into it too much. But here's season 14, also burn disc. But here's what I was talking about. See the glossy. Usually, most time burn discs have that glossy case like that, and they don't have the kind of the flat color to them. So flat black. Excuse me. But the last set I'm going to show you here is a DVD TV set. This is Neon Genesis Evangelion, the complete series, first time on Blu-ray. One of my favorite animes, one of the animes that really got me into watching anime back in the late 90s. Very interesting, a very interesting anime. Most people that watch this, they don't. Most people who've watched this, you either love it or hate it, and I always liked it a lot. It does get weird. It's a weird one now. It does. It is very strange, but this is the interior of it. Not much going on as far as extra art. Just a lot of extras on the discs now. Now there is the reason why there's no fanfare with this. There, I believe, is a special edition out there that it's kind of like the Robotech special edition, one of those big box sets. But I kind of chose that set because I really wanted the content, not so much all the extra artwork and stuff. Some of these come with. So, but I will show if I can get this out without dinging without causing much issues. This is the original DVD set here. This I will be keeping this, but it's nothing special. It's not like a real heavy duty box. But excuse me, I'm talking all this stuff and I haven't kind of talked about, what is Evangelion? What is it about? Evangelion is basically I would say it's a robot fighting show, like a lot of anime is, but it's pretty crazy. It's basically man versus God. Okay, there's basically these angels that have been sent to the earth, and they're these like giant. They're like kaiju basically, but they're angels, and they use the Evangelion, which are the big fighting robots, and they're piloted. They have to be piloted by 14-year-old kids, and the 14-year-old kids basically sync with they sync up with the Evangelion, and they fight in these suits, but they have to be but they have to be kids, and it's just some strange stuff going. It's like a psychological thriller too, wrapped up into an action show. It gets very. It kind of starts out straightforward, where you basically got the first episode you see a robot fight, the second episode you see another angel come, and so on and so forth, until till about episode 12 or so, and then it just starts going into this weird like psychological drama where they're just like, I mean, they're just cruel to these kids, making them fight in this, because like if the Evangelion gets hurt, then they feel it like through their nerves and stuff. They have like a neural connection with this big robot. So they like, if they get the arm cut off, it's like they actually got their arm cut off, and then they experience pain in these robots. And it's bizarre, but wonderful. If you like bizarre things, then you'll love this. The Evangelions are very freaky looking. They're like very scary looking in a way. This show had to be definitely, even in Japan, had to be marketed towards like a teenage audience, not a teenage and adult audience. I don't see how this could have been marketed to kids, even in Japan, because there's some things that are definitely kiddie, like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that, and uh, Pokemon, things like that are definitely kiddie animes, but like some anime. That's what the thing people don't understand about anime is that um, it's not, a lot of it's not for kids. It's, you see this and there's kind of some nudity in there, and there's a lot of suggestive material. It's not really nudity. It's like anime nudity. There's like, they don't show, like if they show like boobs or something, they don't show nipples and stuff. It's like kind of strange. So it's definitely not necessarily, but that's a different culture. You can't really, when you see a different culture's work on the screen, it's hard to be like, well, they're not American. They're not American. They don't follow American values, because they're more of a Buddhist society, not, they're more Buddhist, not Christian. So they don't have those Christian values built in like Americans do, or built in, so their values are different. So if you see when you see things like that, when you see violence and things on there, they don't have those same values that we have here in America. So, but what basically, but what's awesome about that set is you do get these two movies with which in America this is strangely enough called Death and Rebirth, but it's just Death. It's called Death and Evangelion, which Death and Rebirth's really just it's a rehash movie. Like a lot of movies, like if you see Gundam, the Gundam movies, don't really buy them. If you've seen the original series, don't buy that stuff because it's just a rehash of the series and it's in movie form. But this is called the end of Evangelion, and this is an original, like it's like 1 hour ending for the entire show. So this is excellent. As you can see, it looks very strange. You know, you can see images like this. This is Adam, but the reason why I don't want to tell you too much because you really need to watch these things and really should I do a more in depth version of for the Evangelion. I probably should. I should talk about it more because I really enjoy it. I think it's very bizarre and I need to write my thoughts down instead of doing them off the cuff like I'm doing most of this. But the one thing I want to talk to you about before I leave here, I know this video's ran long, so this is something else about Evangelion. They released these series. I had to see what year this come out. I don't know if I'll be able to see it or not. But basically what these are, this is called Evangelion. This is 1.11. It's hard to show this because it's a very reflective surface. These are Blu-rays that came out in probably the mid-aughts, 2005, in that era. It's hard to see because they got kind of a reflective surface to them. Inner. But these were... what they did was they basically condensed the show. They took the show and condensed it down and added CGI effects to everything. This is the original show as it was broadcast. No CGI effects. 1.11 CGI effects. 2.22 the CGI effects, obviously. You get a good picture of Asuka on the back. She's one of the female pilots. There we go. Oh. And actually her boobs are raised up here for some reason. Pretty funny. But this is a condensed version of 2.22. They went away from that nicer packaging too. And for some reason, I think they added some characters or something to it. There's some added scenes because this character is not in the original series. So there's some things added. There's like some cut scenes added that they didn't have in the original series. But this does have a opening up artwork like this. Salvation is Machine. Now this is a very stylized look at that figure. He's more menacing in the actual comic book, in the actual show. So, and last but not least here, I'm sorry I'm boring you with all this stuff, but there's 3.33. Waited forever for this to come out. It finally came out. It came out in Japan, but it didn't come out here, which I'm sure I could have downloaded it somewhere, as I'm just not into that. But just excellent. Just more cut scenes and things, more scenes that wasn't in it, and added CGI. So it's definitely a different feel than the original. But I highly recommend checking out Evangelion, especially now it's on Blu-ray. It's a $40 set. That's pretty much a typical anime set. So since I've been talking forever, I appreciate you guys watching. I haven't been on here for a couple weeks and made a video for you guys, so thought I'd hang around for a while. But make sure you guys check out the Cinerama 60 podcast, live stream, whatever you want to call it. I'll be on there with Mike tomorrow night from when I'm filming at the moment, but that would be Thursday night, November 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have a little bit of a clip of something on here. I have a little review of a toy here you guys might want to be interested in. Check this out before you guys leave. And I'll talk to you guys the next time. Bye now. We got a little late night toy installment coming at you. I decided to pick up this He-Man Masters of the Universe Power Attack He-Man. This is from these are a little more cartoonish He-Man. I don't watch this series. This is another Netflix series. I don't know much about this series, and I was kind of in doubt about these figures. And I thought, well, I think I'll give this figure a try. I just want to see the quality of it. It was on sale for like $9, so if I like the quality of this, I'll probably pick up the Skeletor as well. I think it's Skeletor. Like to maybe I'll pick up a couple more if the quality's good, but I will unbox it here for you guys. The box had a little bit of damage on the bottom of it. I picked it up anyways because of the price, and I'm gonna open it up anyways, and we'll do a little review on this. And yeah, basically let's take a look at this Power Attack He-Man here. See what we got going on here. See what we got going on here. Actually, after I get it out of the packaging, he feels a little heavier than I thought it was going to be, which is good. I like the big sword. Something I do like about this figure, I do like the over-exaggeration of the arms and just the cartoonish nature of the figure. So I do like that. But what I did want to find out was the quality of it. And it don't feel too bad, really. It don't feel too bad. These are kind of rubber. You know, you got your kind of rubber loincloth here. But what I was getting at is I was wanting to know if the quality was kind of on the lines of the Motu Origins. And they don't feel too bad. It feels a little, I don't know, it's probably about the same quality. Now, of course, what I do notice about this is, what's weird, though, is you do get the big, over-exaggerated arms, but what is it lacking? What do you notice? No articulation. Just your normal. Now, you don't have the generic, I think you have more of you have a little bit better leg joint where it connects. It's not like the rubber band, so you get a little bit better standing action, but you don't get articulation in the arms, as you can see. I do see a downfall in that. That is a little bit of a disappointment right there. These are definitely probably meant to sell to a younger audience, so I don't know. I mean, I think it looks all right. It don't feel too bad. I really don't. I'll probably put it on the shelf with my Origins just because it's kind of the same size. I think these are 5 inches. But you do get this big gigantic sword, which is kind of cool. And I'm thinking that it's supposed to have some kind of motion. There we go. Oh, I twisted it back out there, it looks like. Here we go with that sword. But we do get a little articulation in the wrist, so that is one good thing. But no articulation in the arm joints at all, or the legs. But it's not horrible. But this does have some kind of... It does have power action, like the whole torso propels forward like that, so you can get a little bit of action in the sword swinging. Probably good for the kids. Not a lot of moving parts, so this is definitely more of a kids line. It obviously is a kids line toy, but I might pick up the Skeletor version of this, but get a little action in there for the kids. And yeah, it's not bad. The detail on the paint's not bad. You know, you have a little bit of what you would call it here, you know, texture. You got a little texture in the blue. It's kind of nice. You got the texture on the armbands, and the pants have that texture. And you know, it's really, except for the articulation, it's really not a bad piece. I mean, it's not that bad. You do kind of feel like this area of it is a little more hollow than maybe the newer Origin figures. So yeah, it's not a bad fig. For $10, it's not horrible. It's not horrible. I don't know if you get any articulation. No, you get that side to side swinging action. So you get a little bit of play action for the kids. Really cool. So what do you guys think about this? Should I pick up the Skeletor? I definitely won't be picking up the larger size. These do come in larger. I think they come in like a 10-inch size or 8-inch figure size. But I might pick up another one when I see these. I might pick some of these up. These might be some here in a couple months that people are looking after, seeking a lot. So I might pick a few of them up. A few people might be trying to pick these up here in a few months after. I don't know. Who knows? But I think I might pick up Skeletor while I still can find it. It's not bad. It's not really a bad representation of He-Man. So what do you guys think? I will talk to you guys later. And if you like what you've seen today, make sure to give me a big thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. Follow the page. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Kentucky Fried Reviews 420. And make sure to follow me on Rumble and on YouTube. I will talk to you guys later.